Okay, so this is the last video I'm going to be making from this room. I will be moving north, not too far north. It's still in Toronto, but I will be moving to Newtonbrook, where I have a new room that I'll be renting for a year plus. So, all through the stress of having to find a suitable landlord and a suitable room, the idea of identity kept presenting itself because when you interview or when you contact somebody, they immediately want to know who are you, what are you, things like that. And there's some stuff that you volunteer, and then some stuff that they just want to know right away, like male, sexuality. If you ever been to Craigslist, you'll see they identity plays a key role in renting a room. Not that it should be any way else. I think some of those things are discriminatory, by the way. But anyway, but identity is very core to finding a place. But I had my atheist thing going on in the background. I haven't been updating Spiralvent because I just been so crazed and stressed out with having to move. But I read a Vice article just about an hour ago talking about how atheism is kind of losing atheists to the alt right. Maybe I shouldn't say losing, but I mean the alt right though. But so they talked about Richard Spencer's atheism and the way he uses his atheism to as a differing kind of mechanism with regards to other cultures and other religions and things like that. And you end up with this identity thing kind of being I mean Sam Harris dedicated a good part of 5 minutes in one of his lectures about the way atheism, the word, and maybe the identity is kind of redundant, right? It's according to Sam Harris, like we should just be seeking out bad ideas and replacing them with good ones. That's really what the mechanism is there with atheism and religion. But this identity thing just creeps up on you, and I wasn't exactly ever sure what I was gonna do with my blog when I started out the atheism thing. I wasn't sure that I was gonna get labeled an atheist, but I think I pretty much have. I mean, I think I'm seen as an atheist, and it just goes to show you how people want to identify things, want to slap labels on things. And I know I sound like a guy from the '90s. Oh, you can't label me or whatever, but I mean, it was never my intention to be labeled anything, and now I'm being labeled an anti-natalist as well, right? But it's just really what I'm after is the idea, but it's identity. It is identity, and it's stuck on me. So is the anti-natalist thing. Even though I have tons of reading to do, and I keep saying this to people, like I really should be way more well read, But I mean, what I hope is that when I put this stuff up on my blog, that it's transparent, that everybody, without actually saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm a stupid fuck." Like I'm hoping people can see that okay, he's working through something. Like he latched onto an idea and he's working through it. I hope that's what happens with my blog. But I think I think I also have an authoritative way of talking. I might. I mean, so I think my videos are horrible. I think I'm getting better at video, but I think my videos are horrible. But I might be coming across in my writing even as kind of authoritative, like I know. But anyway, that's sidetrack. So interestingly enough, Sam Harris released a podcast, his latest podcast, the Making Sense podcast, and I didn't listen to it yet because I was in the throes of moving and finding a place and all this stuff. But he was talking about online extremism. I have yet to listen to the podcast, so don't quote me on this, but. Yeah, he was talking about online extremism and the way these identities just kind of start melding into all these different things. So you call yourself a conservative with a capital C or even with a small c, and you people tend to kind of reach out and grab you in like not people on the alt right, but I mean you say you're right wing and people kind of smother you down into the alt right. I've seen that happen, and I've seen it happens to me a lot too. You if you're center, it makes people uncomfortable, so you got to get pulled into some far leaning extremist position. It happens all the time, but my blog is so tamed, like it's just so rounded and like exploratory. I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, the Bill 21. I thought right from the start, I was for Bill 21. I thought the arguments made sense. I think secularism is a good thing, and I think it needs, the further away church and state can be, the better. And I thought Bill 21 in Quebec, the bill banning the wearing of overt religious symbols in civil service, in government jobs and stuff, and in teaching positions. I thought it was like great. That's perfect, and it was happening in Quebec. The Quiet Revolution and blah blah blah. But now I'm just finding myself. I mean, I've seen a lot of intelligent people just say that bill is just awful, like just awful, awful, awful. I don't see it necessarily, but right now I'm at a place where I'm not even sure I'm for Bill 21. I think I'm just asking a big question. Like what is a deeply held religious conviction? And don't get me wrong, like I'm atheist leaning, like I'm an atheist, so I'm not questioning is there God, like God? Like I'm not like God, are you there? Like I'm I'm just saying it becomes a question in the context of secularism, whether religious convictions can be treated as religious convictions evenly within government. So governments have definitions of what religions are, but they shouldn't be actually telling people what to believe, or making the choices for people in terms of what to believe and what to do. But I don't want to get into all of it. Like I mean, but I have some people. I'm talking to somebody right now. I've kind of been in correspondence with them over the matter, and I have to reread some of their stuff. Because I think they know a little bit better about what they're talking about. But for me, a lot of this turns into a lot of questions, like what are the boundaries of religion and government, and I know that seems pretty clear cut to most people. We live in Canada and it's a pretty secular place. Like I mean, I don't think anybody even gives it a thought. But I mean, when you start reading special interest blogs and stories, news and things like that, you start questioning like what are these boundaries? Like, what does it mean to have boundaries? So things like that. So I'm still saying I think Bill 21 is a good thing, but it's for me a large part of the whole thing is a big question. So yeah, I mean, identity, right? Like I mean, it's just something you get caught up in, and even this organization I'm a member of, the Canadian Secular Alliance, they mentioned that they're against Bill 21. So it's and the bill is also known as a secularism bill. So I mean, you have the Canadian Secular Alliance being against a secularism law. So that type of stuff is what I'm talking about too. Like I mean, where those lines start blurring. And I'm sure it happens with me even without my even knowing it, because there's people who watch these videos that I'm unaware of. But yeah, and then you think about the whole Richard Spencer thing and the atheism thing and like alt-right and atheism. And anyway, I'm a brown guy, so I don't know if that gives me some protection money. I don't know. Anyway, so a bit of a weird open-ended way to end the video, but yeah, that's pretty much where I am. Bye.